Ablakwa here is a legislator. He's of the National Democratic Congress. So his photograph is near his party's flag. You can see that. It's beautiful, isn't it? Now, he decided to be an anti-corruption crusader to foster his career. Good decision. And then he decided to come on the National Cathedral. He rained all the insults in the world on Osofo Victor Kusi Boateng. He alleged that Victor Kusi Boateng is so bad that Victor Kusi Boateng has two identities. That he calls himself Victor Kusi Boateng, and then he calls himself Reverend Edu-Jemfi. Because that if you take his passport, his name is Reverend Edu-Jemfi, passport 1. You take passport 2, his name is Reverend Kusi Boateng. Ablakwa went beyond that. He said, in fact, Kusi Boateng, as a member of the Cathedral Company, has actually received money from the cathedral directly because the government of Ghana used the taxpayers' money as a seed fund for the cathedral. And this was announced in Parliament by the Venerable Ken Ofori-Atta, the Minister of Finance, as he then was in 2019. He announced that the state was paying money. And then we're all in the United States. I was there in Washington, D.C. that night, where a fundraiser was organized. President Akufo-Addo was there. The Venerable Archbishop Duncan Williams was there. Sonny Badu was there. He made the music. He sang. And we had a great time in Maryland, way back, 2018 or something like that. So, but the seed money had come from government. So it was a big deal. It was government. And Ablakwa alleged that taxpayers' money that had been given to the cathedral, a portion of it had been given to Reverend Kusi Boateng for his personal benefit because his company had been awarded some form of contract. His company is not an engineering company, it's not a plumbing company, it's not an architectural company. But Ablakwa said, in spite of all that, Kusi Boateng's company had been giving money. And that Kusi Boateng says he's a pastor, but in fact he's a fraud. Ablakwa went ahead to say that if people are doubting what he's saying, he's going to petition the Commissioner for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, and people will hear the truth. Kusi Boateng said nothing. I met him at the Kumasi airport. As I saw, he said, I have nothing to say. I said, oh, Papa, I have nothing to say. Vindication, he told me, is in the womb of time. He told me. I met him at the Kumasi airport. He was with his wife. He said, Papa, and that's how he calls me, vindication is in the womb of time. I said, okay. I asked him who is his lawyer. He told me, how is his thing going? He said, yeah, fine. Have his lawyers responded? He said, his lawyers have responded. I said, okay, let's see what happens. Today, or yesterday, the Commission of Human Rights and Administrative Justice came out with their report. It appeared that they were clutching for territory and jurisdiction that they don't have at the end, where they were talking about public procurement and all that, but we'll get to that. In the report, the Commission for Human Rights says, Kusi Boateng doesn't have a double identity. Ablakwa was wrong. It's not true. This is how damaging these things can be. The other day, Rawlings was calling some children babies with sharp teeth. You remember, J.J. Rawlings. He said in his own party, there are babies with sharp teeth. But this is how damaging some of those things can be. It's completely damaging. After several months of heaping all the insults of this man, the Commission for Human Rights, it is not Kusi Boateng who took the case there. It's Ablakwa who took the case there to solidify his point. He went to Sraj to solidify his point. And Sraj burst his bubble. Sraj have told him today that he's wrong. The Sraj commissioner was appointed by former President John Dramani Mahama in the dying days of his government. He appointed a Sraj guy. He has entitled to do so. It's still a constitutional conversation constitutional law students are having. Whether or not His Excellency the President is able to function as president after the elections of December 7th, where he has been defeated. It's a good exam question. Whether or not because he has no correct answer, and you get to know how the students are thinking. Whether or not the president of Ghana, elected under the 1992 Constitution, can function and exercise in his powers as president after his second term bid fails and another person is elected. Can he do that? We'll see how it goes. But Whittle was appointed in those circumstances by President John Dramani Mahama. So Whittle comes to the conclusion in the report that Kusi Boateng doesn't have double identity. Why is Ablakwa saying that? That Kusi Boateng didn't collect money from the cathedral. Story is even more interesting. Let's see it. Let's get to the story. Okudzejo Ablakwa leveled 2 main allegations against Reverend Kusi Boateng. 1, that he is a fraudulent person by virtue of having 2 passports. And 2, that he is relation with the company JNS Talent Limited puts him in conflict of interest with the National Cathedral project.